All right, people, we are live. Let me fix this a little bit for us so you can see me a little bit better. There we go. Now you can see me. How you doing all, folks? Come on in. Come one, come all. Come to Average Joe PT and Scully. We're up in the dead zone. Today we're going to talk about the ankle, foot, and shoulder. I think I fixed my old tablet. We'll see. Cross my fingers. First one to show up. Good afternoon, Mr. Alternative Tongues. What's up, brother? How you doing? That's right. Get in, get hot. We're going to see what we can do. Come on in, R3. Come on in, R3. Hey, Joe, what do you know? R3 Healthy, come on in with Alternative Tongues. Well, tonight, or today I should say, Scully and I, we're going to be talking about, first of all, the ankle and foot. We're going to go over that. I want you to come on and get connected here in the dead zone, I call it. This is my second spot when it comes to live streams. Good to see you, R3. Sock CP, mega shout out to the host. Thank you so much. So, Sock CY, come on in. You're new to this channel. Anybody who's new, over the next couple of days, I'm going to try and get connected because this way, when I do these live streams from my phone, it takes a few days for the phone and to YouTube to process the actual video. So come on and shout out. Alternative Tongues is already saying, come on in, shout out with Sock CY, come on in. Hello, everybody. Hello, Sock CY. We're going to be talking about the ankle a little bit to start out with. And then we're going to go into the shoulder blade. And then if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them out there. So that's what we're going to do on this live stream. Willow Galaxy. Miss Galaxy's in the house. Thank you. Come on in. Thank you for coming on in. Hopefully get connected. Leave a good comment. It has to be at least something appropriate to the video that you're watching. You must watch at least a couple minutes of the video. Otherwise, YouTube is going to consider that spam, and it's going to get put in the spam box. I'm here, sir. Yes, you are. Come on in. R3 saying hello to everybody. That's right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. Some thumbs up would be awesome. So this is our second live stream of the week. We do them Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Tomorrow's live stream, I'm probably going to do around 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to see what we do at the end of this video, this live stream, I should say, and what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to kind of take a little census to see if what everybody wants to talk about on Friday. Otherwise, I'm going to come up with a new topic to talk about tomorrow. How are you feeling today, Joe? R3, thank you so much. I'm feeling better. Now that I got that facet in place and it's not stuck no more, my spasms have calmed down, and I'm not getting them as bad as I used to. The muscles now can start to recover, as well as the joint can recover from being stuck. And so, you know, I did this injury. Tomorrow would be 7 days, 1 week. And so I seem to be right on track. So get back into my core stability-based exercises, get back into my more walking-based program. Once they open my gym up, I'll be able to go ahead and exercise there. But it's been at least 2 months. So I'm 2 months. And I've gained probably about 10 pounds of weight. I know I've gained about 10 pounds. So I need to get back. Cubs Den's in the house. Welcome. As Miss Cubs Den's always says, come on in. Welcome. I'm not quite sure if I can hit that octave. It's probably right close to falsetto when it comes to how she speaks. But I try what I can, Miss Cubs. Come on in. Go ahead and get connected. Hopefully I have 6 thumbs up right now. We're going to see. We got a little bit of everybody coming on in here. And if you have any questions before we get started, you can go right ahead. But we're going to start out by talking about the ankle and foot. So this is a very complex joint. As it's obvious, it's got lots of bones. Got your little tootsies on the end here. Like and share. That's right. Please go ahead, like me, share me out. If you could shout me out, that would be great. I know someone from live stream yesterday wanted me to talk about ankle sprains. I think it might have been tongues. I'm not sure if it was, but I'm thinking it probably was alternative tongues. We got 5 watching right now. And so we can go ahead and get at least started with that, and we get some more people to come in, but hopefully shout me out. And so let's talk about the obvious things. Let's talk about basic ankle sprains. And when we think about an ankle sprain, as a therapist, and yes, Joe. Okay, so it was alternative. Mr. Oh, we got the bunny rabbit. Roberts is in the house. Come on in, Roberts. Come on in. Connect, connect, connect. Thank you for coming. Oh, we got Blue Jeans Network throwing some stuff out. Hi, host. Hi. Oh my, I got Blue Jeans Network with the Cubs in the house. I'm telling you, I'm getting so much stuff here. Almost all this love you guys have given me. I appreciate it. Absolutely appreciate it. So let's go ahead. We got 7 thumbs up. We got 8 watching now. We are just going crazy tonight, folks. So like I say, if you send the love out, hopefully sooner or later the love will come back. So let's go ahead and talk about ankle sprains. And so we think, what's the difference between a strain and a sprain? A sprain is a ligament, and when you strain something, you're straining a muscle or a tendon. So that's first the difference between those two terms. And so let's talk about ankle sprains. I did a playlist probably under ankle pain at least 3 months ago about ankle sprains. I have it in my playlist. I talk specifically about certain types of ankle sprains. So you can look at that, but we're going to go over some of the more detailed stuff that I didn't talk about in that video. I twisted both my ankles due to playing basketball. Now when I walk, sometimes I hear a clicking sound. Oh, I can tell you what that probably is. Still here, my battery died. Well, thank you for staying around there, R3. We got to get one of those Elon Musk batteries for you that lasts forever. Cubs Den says, welcome everyone. Please remember to thumbs up and share. Well, thank you so much, Miss Cubs Den. It was much appreciated. Thumbs up, and as much I can get, share out and shout out as much as possible. And so the first thing we want to think about is the sprain. So there's basically 4 kinds of sprains. There's 4 grades to them. 4 grades depending on how you look at it. The fourth is actually a rupture. A grade 1 sprain is you twist it and you're fine in a day or so. A grade 2 sprain is you've torn the ligaments and the fibers a little bit. You might have some swelling. You probably won't have any bruising, any blood vessels that have been broken apart that's causing the bruising. Grade 3, you've basically sprained the ligaments. See how I interchange them? Sprained the ligaments all the way out, and you probably have some really good tears. Not quite a rupture yet. And then that grade 4 is where you've ruptured the ligament. R3 battery has strained. Lots of laugh. Hi y'all. Cubs Dens. Hi y'all. At Blue Jeans Network says R3, come on in. So I got 7 in the house right now. And so the main one that so we're talking about what kind of ankle sprain? An inversion sprain. That's when you turn your ankle inwards. And so the outside rolls. So the inversion sprain is the specific kind of the term, the action of how you actually do it or turn your ankle is an inverting of the actual foot. And so you sprain the outside ligaments, and we'll talk about the 2 or 3 that really get torn or sprained the most. Let's look at it this way. So before you sprain your ankle, a lot of things have to happen. The first thing that has to happen is that the muscles have to fail to engage to control the ankle. The second thing is the tendons have to not engage, or fail, I should say, to support the actual ankle. Then the ligament then has to fail or partially fail. So you have all these phases or processes that has to happen before you actually get to the ligament being sprained. Hi, Cubs Den. Sorry, R3 says hello. At R3 Healthy Biz at says hello. So we got some good connections going on there between Cubs Den, R3, and good old Blue Jeans Network. I'm using my laptop, but something is not letting me see the chat. Huh. I don't have anything on blocked or anything. It's got to be on something on your end. Let me go ahead and share me out here for a second. I'm going to share myself out on Twitter. Oh, have I not done that yet? I might not have set up Twitter on this thing yet. I did, okay. So I did. I just tweeted myself out. I love saying that. I just tweeted myself out. For some reason, I like saying that. Don't know why. And let's see if I can get Facebook to work too. I'll tweet myself. No, I don't have the Facebook logged in. That's one thing. I fixed everything else on this laptop, but I didn't get all the different platforms logged into this particular computer. So, oh well, no one's perfect. All right, so think of it. So we have to have failures of the muscles, of the tendons before we even get to the ligaments. Before then, they have to go through their phases. One being the least amount of sprain, all the way to 3, 4, where the ligament is ruptured off of the bone. So we have the inversion sprain we're talking about. We have this thing called the anterior talofibular ligament. And you're like, what the heck is that? Let's break it down for you folks. It's really simple once we break it down. Anterior means front. Talo means this is the talus. There's a talus bone. Okay, and then we're talking about the fibula. So between this bone inside here, you can't see because it's got these thick ligaments representation here, to this fibula. From here to here, you get a sprain. The calcaneofibular ligament is from the calcaneus or the heel bone to the fibula. So from here to here and from here to here. So kind of look at from here is one ligament, and then from here to here is the other ligament. And that makes sense because when you turn something and you twist like that, it's going to stretch out this part of the area. And essentially, that's the two main ligaments that you sprain when you have an inversion ankle twisting kind of motion. Thank you, Blue Jeans. Shared me out. That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, Blue Jeans. Much love to you. Much love. And so that is the basic inversion sprain. Now, the other thing that happens, remember I said a lot of things have to fail. The muscles have to fail. The tendons have to fail before it gets to the ligaments. So you're going to have a lot of tendon issue, and you can have a lot of muscle issue going on, as well as the ankle sprain. And so when you're recovering from this, the tissue itself, when us as professionals, we think about how fast things heal. Think of it this way. When we talk about blood flow, muscles have the greatest amount of blood flow to them. Then tendons have the second amount of blood flow to them. Then ligaments have the next amount of blood flow to them. Then scar tissue is the last. So when we look at things recovering from a tear or some sort of injury, we know muscles heal the fastest. And we know if you do anything to scar tissue heals the least, or it takes the longest to heal. And so think of it that way when you're looking at how well am I going to heal, or how quickly can I heal from this. It all depends, A, on how bad that sprain is, because you've also injured the muscle and the tendons on the outside that go underneath that outside ankle and attach on the bottom of the foot. Those are called your peroneal perineal muscles on the outside of your foot, and they allow your ankle to go outwards. So they're going to kind of go like that outwards. And so when you roll them, you overstretch all those muscles and tendons that go from the top of your, I'm going to show here, from this part all the way down your foot. That's going to cause that particular problem. And so they all have to heal. And so as they're done healing, now you're going to be weak. You're going to have a lot of weakness within that ankle, especially if you try standing on one leg or any type of standing on foam or uneven surface. You're going to realize that you're not going to be as good as you were before that sprain, and that's why it's easier to sprain yourself or sprained the ankle again. That's why you can have multiple sprains, because when you healed and recovered, you didn't fully recover strength and this other thing that we're going to talk about in a second. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I got Blue Jeans. How? I don't know why it keeps putting hide on you. Okay. Cubs, Diverse Canal, welcome. Oh, thank you, Diverse Canal. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Blue Jeans. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming, Diverse Canal. I want you to go ahead. We got a bunch of people in here. Hopefully you can get connected with a few of them. Miss Blue Jeans Network says, how about an Achilles tendon injury? How long does it take to heal, and does basically ever heal completely? Does it ever heal completely? So that's the first question. The second question, how about an Achilles tendon injury? How long does it take to heal? Oh, okay. That's called redundancy. It was done twice. Hey, dear friend. Thank you, Diverse Canal. That little dog that you have, much cuteness. Love that little icon that you have for your channel. I don't know much about breeds of dogs, but it looks cute. I know that much. All right, and so they're talking about the Achilles tendon. That's way down here. That attaches to the calcaneus or the heel bone. That's that big, thick ligament. Oh my Lord, Joe. That's that big, thick tendon that comes down and attaches to the Achilles. Now, what is up here? Up here is your gastrocnemius and soleus muscle, or what we call your calf muscle in general, layman's terms. And those two muscles come together to make that particular tendon called your Achilles tendon. And that's basically your main plantar flex, or as your foot points downwards, that's what that main thing does. That's that muscle and tendon does. Now, can it heal? Yes. Is it a bugger to heal? Yes. Because this is what really happens. You end up getting either calcium deposits or spurs, usually within the tendon and the calcaneal area, and that keeps everything inflamed. And so what happens initially is you have a tendonitis, it heals a little bit, the tendonitis gets worse again, and that causes the body to build spurs or calcium deposits, whatever way you want to look at it, and then they end up irritating that tendon. Now you have a bony kind of thick calcium deposit chewing into the tendon, which continues that inflammatory process. Lionel's in the house. Lionel's in the house all the way from Canada. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Joe. What do you know? Hello, everyone. Much love to Lionel. Come on in. Get connected. I got a few new people in here, Lionel, since you've been in here last. I got Miss Cubs Den, if you don't know. I got Diverse Canal. I got the Blue Jeans Network. I got R3. I got Willow Galaxy, Alternative Tongues. I got a bunch of people coming in and out for you, Lionel. We're talking about Achilles tendon right now. And so that's the complication with the Achilles tendon. What they should do, they'll probably put you in what we call a cam boot. All right, and they put you in this giant boot thing where you can't plantar flex. And so it helps keep this issue in a nice shortened position. This tendon stays in a nice shortened position so it can heal. That's one thing they might do. In the physical therapy realm, we're going to do some ultrasound. We're going to do some taping techniques. We might do some steroids, some iontophoresis medication, with that dexamethasone medication, I should say. Iontophoresis is actually a type of electrical unit or current. It's called DC current, that we actually push or repel the medication that goes into the skin. So we're not using needles or orals. We're actually putting the steroid on the pad, applying the pad to the tendon. All right, so the medication stays local, and then we use electrical current to push the medication into the skin. Joe, I got a new ailment. Oh, gosh. What's going on with you now, Lionel? You got to go ahead and show us. Throw out in the comment section. I got Ilver. ILVER is in the house. Come on in. ILVER is in the house. I think I love, maybe short for I love or I lover. I don't know. But come on in. Found a ganglion cyst on my inside wrist. Any idea about therapy, brother? Classic ganglion cyst. I mean, that is like textbook where you would find a ganglion cyst. Hello, everyone. Hi, lovers. So let's talk about Lionel's ganglion cyst for a second. The problem with ganglion cysts is they can come back. The other bad thing is you can have them throughout your whole body. That really is only becomes a problem when it starts inflaming the tendons or if starts affecting the joint movement around the ganglion cyst. But a lot of times, if we're in the wrist and there's a lot of small tendons that crossed into the hand, and so there's a lot of very long tendons, and if that ganglion cyst is irritating that tendon, you'll end up having a tendonitis. It's really not the ganglion cyst causing the problem, or it is the ganglion cyst causing, excuse me, the ganglion cyst causing the problem, but the tendon is what's the pain. And so they could do surgery. Sometimes they'll just try and calm down the tendons with steroids or put you maybe in a wrist brace, or in, we'll call it a fancy term. Don't laugh, but it's called the cock-up splint. That's right, where your wrist is kind of in a cocky kind of position. And so they'll make you wear that. That'll maybe calm down the tendons so you're not causing those tendons to glide over that ganglion cyst and causing inflammation to occur. So they might do that. That wouldn't be a bad idea. You can buy one of those braces at the store, and sometimes they'll have a little thumb component to them, a strap with the hand. That's called a thumb spica splint. And so that goes on the end of the thumb here, and that can go ahead and that will help your thumb at the same time, especially if the ganglion cyst is on the inside thumb, what we call the de Quervain veins or de Quervain vines, depending on what part of the country or what part of the world you're from. Or de Quervain veins, they'll call it de Quervain veins too. Average Joe shared you out on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much, Blue Jeans. I much appreciate it. Much love to you. Thank you so much. I know I need it. I need it. I definitely need it. So I have 7 people watching, 8 in the house. There's no pain whatsoever, just a bit slightly about the size of a grapefruit. Yeah, I mean, there's not much they can do. Usually surgeons won't touch it. I mean, the old way that they showed you to do back in the olden days, they told you to take a textbook and slam it on the area as opposed to bust it up. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's the old time way of actually treating ganglion cysts. Diverse Canal says, much prayer and thank you. Thank you so much, Diverse Canal. Hopefully we get some more people in here, get connected. We have 8 in the house right now. We're talking about ankle sprains here. We got kind of sidetracked here with the whole ganglion cyst thing. There's fatty cysts. Fatty cysts will do the same kind of thing, where you can get a fat deposit in an area, and that can get things all inflamed and irritated too, or cause some sort of, it's usually in small areas like your ankle and wrist areas where you have a lot of long, thin tendons crossing over multiple joints, and all it does is take one little thing, and the next thing you know, you got a problem. Drain it or cut it out, the only real option, but they do come back. That's right, Lionel, they come back, and they'll usually come back in the exact same spot. That's the reason why they kind of leave them alone if they're not really causing any pain. More of a cosmetic, or in the fancy word, we call it cosmesis. Ooh, that's only a $2 word. All right, and so let's talk a little bit more about the ankle. So we talked about where good old Alternative Tongues, he's sprained his ankles a few times, and now he's got this clicking thing going on. Cubs Den, my kiddo has a bump as well as on the wrist. She was given one of those wrist thingies to wear, but this is the second time. No pain, just a bump. Yeah, that's exactly what it probably is. It's probably just a ganglion cyst, and they're doing exactly what I thought they would do. They want to rest that area and hopefully get the inflammation around the area to calm down. So, if the inflammation is gone, more than likely the pain will be gone, and hopefully that the body will reabsorb the ganglion cyst over time. Any doctors have no idea why, where, or how they come from. No, I don't think they do. I think they spontaneously come on, and then they hopefully will go away. Sometimes they stay. Most time, not everybody gets them, so they don't truly know exactly why you're getting them. Average Joe, how long does an Achilles tendon rupture take to heal? An Achilles rupture? Now, a rupture means that they had to reattach it back to the canal, to the calcaneus canal. I had the All right, their words are similar, but essentially they have to reattach that back to the calcaneus. And so if that's the case, you're looking months. I mean, you're usually offloaded on that thing for at least 6 to 8 weeks. All right. And then you're looking at passive range of motion. Then you're looking at maybe active system range of motion where someone assist you. They're probably going to do partial weight bearing. You might be 25% of your body weight, 50% of your body weight, and then work into weight bearing is tolerated before you can start to get off of any type of equipment like crutches or a walker, out of a cam boot, into an air cast. There's a whole process. Your Achilles rupture is going to take a while to heal. You're looking at months. Diverse Canal says, hello, Galaxy, check you. Thank you so much. Momentum 24 Romans finished restrictions for COVID. Romania finished restrictions for COVID. Oh, okay. We try and stay away from the thumbs ups and the checks a little bit because that's going to look like spam. And I don't want to look like spam. Let's see if I can. I probably can't even take that off. Whoops, no, all it did was mess everything up. Let's see if I can get that to fix. Just connected with you, my bad. You weren't connected with me before, Blue Jeans. I've been connected with you for months and months and months. Oh my, I fell through the cracks on you, didn't I there, Blue Jeans? Oh my, definitely. Good. Or I've been booted off. That happens a lot too, and it happens to me where I go to people's sites. I'm like, what the heck? I know I'm subscribed. I know I've even rung the bell, and all of a sudden I go over there and I don't have nothing. I'm like, what the heck is this system doing again? So I'm telling you, YouTube has a crazy mind of its own. Thank you so much for taking that out, Cubs Den. Yeah, I mean, we can do 1 or 2 thumbs and stuff like that. I mean, I haven't been called on, but I know if I start doing checks and all this other stuff, then I know I'm going to get dinged on this live. So I really don't want to. If I didn't need the watch hours, I wouldn't care. I'm doing these whether I need, I need watch hours now. That's obvious. But I'm gonna do these after I have my watch hours because I just like answering questions and educating and stuff like that the best I can. Can I eat spam? Wait, can I write spam? No, you Lionel. I love you, brother from another mother. In case Kevin Durant is done with the NBA. No, Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles tendon? No, he's not done with the NBA. What they're probably going to do for Kevin Durant is he's going to be out. I mean, are they even running the NBA this season? I thought they said they weren't going to run the NBA this season. I want to know how he ruptured Achilles tendon anyways. I mean, he's not, the season's not even playing. What's he out playing, softball or something and ruptured his Achilles tendon? Cubs Den says, at Natasha Pretty Anderson, welcome, sis. Thank you so much. Cubs Den, how are you doing, sis? At Natasha Pretty. Thank you for coming, Natasha Pretty Anderson. Thank you. I haven't seen her in a while. I come to see her stuff, but she's busy. She's a busy girl. So I want to thank much love. I have eight or nine in the house right now listening to her. Durant, how old is he now? Kevin Durant, I don't know, but he's got to be probably in his late 20s. And so let's talk about that. So let's say you rupture your Achilles tendon. All right. That's got to be screwed. All right. Usually what they'll do is they'll literally do an eye hook. All right. That's got threads on the end of it. They'll thread that in, and so that tendon has something against it to sew it onto. All right, they might even drill a hole and anchor it in that way and come through. There's a couple different techniques they can do to reattach this Achilles tendon to the calcaneus. But I mean, he's going to get therapy every single day. He's going to get water therapy. I mean, they throw out all the stops for someone who's worth millions and millions of dollars. I mean, they're probably going to do near infrared. They're going to do ultrasound. They're going to probably do dry needling. They're going to try and speed any way possible to try and get as much blood flow to those Achilles tendon tissue fibers to try and heal them as humanly possible. The reality is you can only heal as fast as you bring in good blood flow in and the fibers reconnecting and becoming strong again. And then you're talking about a guy who's playing at the highest physical level possible. So he's got to be able to jump up and jump down a million times. So yeah, he's gonna need a lot of therapy. Kevin Durant suffered a devastating Achilles tendon injury in Game 5 of 2019 NBA Finals. Oh, okay. I haven't watched it much since my brother left. Who was that? His name is Michael Jordan. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. North Carolina, Michael Jordan. So since he's left, it's been a few people, but it ain't like the 80s and 90s and 70s. There's no Wilt Chamberlain out there. There's no Kareem out there. There's no Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? There's no 1984 Celtics team out there. So they can tell all the, hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Mom, my mom's in the house. LeBron. Yeah, LeBron, he's good. I mean, he's good for this era. I mean, would he be good in any era? Yes. But would he be as good as he is right now? I hate to tell you, brothers and sisters, LeBron James would not be as good as he is right now if he was going up against Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. There's no way. No way on this. He'd be good. He'd be really good. He's probably better than Magic Johnson was. But the reality is he'd be as good as he is in this era if he was playing in those era with those guys? No, the competition ain't like today. I mean, the NBA is very young, and compared to the 80s and 90s and 70s, where you had to graduate college, so you were already in your, you were 23, 24 years old versus coming out of high school, 18, 19. There's a lot of growing up in a man between 18 and 19 and 24. All right. And so the reality is it totally, don't you get me on a rant there now. So yeah, he's good. He's no Michael Jordan, I'll tell you that. All day long, every day of the week, he's no Michael Jordan. Lionel says the most potent post starting six in the 1980 Celtics. You better believe it. Yeah, he had McHale there, and then right down there in the forward spot. The old Detroit Pistons would straighten out LeBron. Oh yeah, the dirty Pistons. Oh yeah, even the what were the 80s and early 90s Detroit Pistons with Isaiah Thomas and the rest of that group. I mean, you had so needless to say, yeah, I mean, you had the dirty Pistons back then. Even when you had, I'm forgetting his name. Oh, anyways, it'll come to me. I'm thinking too hard right now, and his name is escaping me. He played on the Pistons and the Bulls. Why am I forgetting his name? Who played on the Pistons and the Bulls? Come on. He started out in the Pistons. Rodman, thank you, Rodman. I mean, Rodman back in the day, you got to give it. I mean, Rodman, the older Rodman's an absolute clown. But you get that man on the court, and he'll get you that ball back. And defensively, if that ball don't go in that hoop, if Rodman's anywhere near that ball's going to Rodman. That ball is like a magnet to that guy's hands, man. There ain't no one taking that ball from Rodman. He'll get 5 fouls on him like that. But you ain't getting that ball from Rodman, man. He's going to throw those elbows around. Hello again. Marilyn, hi. Hello again. Hope you are all good. Thank you so much. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm talking about the ankle right now, and everybody got me into basketball because we were talking about the Achilles tendon being ruptured, and apparently Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles tendon. So it's not a career ending, but he was lucky he did it at the end of the season because he wouldn't have been playing the entire season. Hopefully he's recovered now that this season really is a washout. Thank you, Miss Cubs Den. That's right. Hit the thumbs up. Hopefully, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, hope you subscribe down below. I do my lives with my channel. My channel art says Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are my live streams, and my Sundays I drop my edited videos with Scully. That's right behind me. Yep, Pistons didn't play the foul game. They played b-ball like hockey. You better believe it, buddy. These porcelain players nowadays, oh my Lord, they wouldn't know what to do. They'd be trying to call hand checking and everything like that. You know, pull on the shorts a little bit. These guys wouldn't know what to do nowadays if you pulled on the shorts. They'd throw their game all off. Anyways, let me get back to the ankle and foot. Shame on you guys, getting me all distracted. Okay, your name is Joe, not Ed. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't say this very often, but I'll say that because no one's listening. Ed and I assume she's talking about my late brother. We are more alike than not alike. I just don't say anything. I just keep it in my head. All right, and so we're going to talk about now, we're talking about going into the different types of the foot. So when we think of the foot, we have to break it down. We have the hind foot, the midfoot, and the forefoot. And so we kind of break it down into 3 different sections of the foot. That makes it a little bit easier when we're talking about a problem. And so you can have simply, I'm going to flip it now from the outside and flip you inside. Now we're going to go from Achilles tendon issues, and we're going to go from lateral ankle sprains or inversion sprains. They're one and the same thing. And we're going to talk about tarsal tunnel syndrome. Now, this is a nerve that's part of the sciatic nerve system that comes down your leg into your hip, splits as it comes down the top. Think of your as you come to the front of your knee, you're coming down the knee, and you're going into the shin and the bone on the side, which is the fibula. Right the top of that part there, which is right the top here, that's where the nerve splits. All right, and becomes 2 separate nerves, comes down on one side of the front, and another one comes down on the back side. That's called the common fibular nerve. And then you have a superficial, which is we're going to talk about. And that superficial nerve comes all the way down. It comes underneath your ankle bone. And on this side, the ankle bone is actually the end of the tibia. And so when people talk about the ankle bone, generally speaking, all right, another term for this, the fancy term is called the malleolus. It's called the medial malleolus because it's inside, on the inside of the body. But anatomically, it's also a styloid. So you could technically call this a styloid process. Lionel says, welcome SMR. Hi, ASMR Lounge. Come on in. I got connected with her probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. She does ASMR. She could tell you more about it on her channel. This is kind of a relaxing auditory thing that goes on for people who have kind of sensory disorders and stuff like that. It's really good to reduce stress, as well as, when you listen to the ocean and the crashing waves of the oceans and stuff like that, that's a whole auditory response, and it helps relax you. And her channel's all about that in different ways. Very unique. One of them was a rubber mitten that she was doing, and one was her fingernails. She had these Elvira fingernails that she was rubbing down her jeans, and she had one where she was rubbing on the table and stuff like that. If you have your earbuds in, you're just kind of closing your eyes, it really gets you to relax. It's really a cool, there's a bunch of channels, but she's got a really cool channel out there. And that's what she does. And I got connected with her, and she's wonderful. And she does, I drop videos once a week. She probably drops a video at least a couple times a week, I think. I think she does twice a week. I know she definitely does once a week. I try to get over there at least once a week, because I got her on the bell. So when she pops up as someone that I click for the bell, she'll pop up, and if I get time, I'll go over there and see it. So that's her. She's amazing. All right, and so we were talking about tarsal tunnel syndrome. And what the heck is that in your ankle? Now, ankle and foot. So that nerve runs on the back side and runs down, as well as your artery, vein, and nerve also run down that back side because they run as a track, your artery, nerve, and vein. Oh, is this wine? No, it's cherry Pepsi. This is Thursday. I have to go to work tomorrow. Now, Friday, tomorrow afternoon, my live stream, I might have a brew here. I might have a brew. I have to, but I don't, if I do that, I don't know because I don't have, YouTube. I have it to where, I don't cater to just, this isn't a kids channel, but I don't also have it to where, you need to be 18 or over. So I better be careful if I have beer. I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but it definitely could be a yellow flag if I had beer in the actual video, whether I might get hit with a yellow flag because I didn't say that this video was for people that were technically 18 or 21 or over. Even though I might not say anything inappropriately, which I never do, or I might not have, obviously I don't have my kids in the video or anything like that because that would be, my kids aren't old enough. But if I had a beer or something, I'm not sure if I would get dinged on that. So I better not do that now that I think about it. Now, I might have a glass with a beer in it and just kind of wink at you guys and say, if you guys say beer, if I wink once, it's yes. If I wink twice, it's no, it's not. Hey, Joe, you got a P.O. box? A P.O. box? No, man, you Canadians know I don't have a P.O. box. Do they even have P.O. boxes anymore in America? Hey, Mom, maybe my mom would know. She knows this kind of stuff. Hey, Mom, I don't think there's a P.O. box anymore, is there? I don't think so. I think they stopped doing that a while back. Because I know a lot of places that you want to, like, say you want to mail order something, or if you want to buy something off the internet, I know sometimes they won't send to a P.O. box. I mean, I don't live out in the boonies. I live in North Carolina. I mean, compared to where I used to live in Pennsylvania, I lived out in the boonies. I lived on a dirt road off of a dirt road in the middle of freaking woods. And yes, that was the boonies, where it was, it was 30, 40 minutes to your closest Walmart. No, I live in a community. All right, I got 8 in the house. All right, so let's go ahead. When someone is flat-footed, does that cause back problems? Yes. Yes is at the post office. Yes is at the post office. Vero Garcia, hi. Hello, hi, Vero Garcia. Come on in. We're talking about the ankle and foot right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you leave a wonderful comment. Hopefully you get connected with some people in here. I got, I think, 8 or 9. I got probably 10 or 11 coming and going right now. They're going out and doing a comment and watching people's video and hopefully coming back into mine to see some more of my stuff. Vera Garcia says, hello, Aaron Kenny. Miss Garcia, that's my mom, and she's not a content creator. And I'm not sure if she knows how to subscribe to people's channels if she wants to or not yet. But she doesn't have a channel per se. P.O. Box is a mailbox at the post office. Safe security, keeping private home address private. See, Lionel? I didn't even know that. I learn something new every day. Can you even go to the post office right now? I think you should be able to, but some of them probably closed to the public. Welcome, everyone. Please remember to thumbs up and share. Yes, thank you, Cubs Den. Willow Galaxy's giving me the old galaxy picture. All right, so let's talk more about tarsal tunnel. And so that nerve comes down and underneath in here. And so my mother was asking, does flat foot, or what the technical term is called pes planus, all right, does that affect your back? And yes, it can affect your back, definitely, because as well as your knees and hips. And so, and it usually happens if you are flat-footed your whole life. I tend to not see that is an actual problem. But if you've hurt your foot or had an injury to your foot or ankle, and or your arch drops as you get older, then yes, then you end up having a lot of problems because for some reason the body can't recorrect itself, and you end up having a lot more pain. So yes, excuse me, flat foot or pes planus can definitely cause back problems. Also, pes planus or flat foot can irritate your tarsal tunnel nerve, which is what I was getting to, because you end up overstretching that nerve that comes down underneath, as well as you can have what's called posterior tib tendonitis. So I am known for giving away t-shirts in Canadian confection sweets. I want to send you a care package. All right, go right ahead. Go ahead and you can, Lionel, if you want to leave me, I have my email that's in my actual YouTube page. If you want to go ahead and leave me your email. Then I'll go ahead and send you my my mailing address. I really don't want to send my mailing address vocally through the World Wide Web right now, because I love everybody, but you never know. I don't need a Unabomber sending something to my house. You know what I'm saying, brother? I don't need anthrax being sent to my house. So you can go, if you want to go ahead, I do have my emailing address for business and stuff and my YouTube page. If you want to go ahead and leave me a comment, and I'll go ahead and send you my I'll send you my email address. About the page has an email. I'll reach out exactly why I asked about a P.O. box. Yeah. I don't have a P.O. box. I just have my normal mailbox. If I see a billion stamps, I know it's coming from Canada. That's right, yeah. Blue Jeans, safety first. And I mean, I've known Lionel for a while. I've seen his channel and stuff like that. You know, I mean, he seems, I love the guy. He seems to be up and up, but you know, I just don't want to, because this is being saved. I'm putting this out afterwards, and it's going on YouTube. And so the reality is, 10 years from now, 15 from now, I don't know. I mean, you never know. I mean, I plan on being, I mean, this is the marathon run for me, people. This isn't a sprint, excuse me, YouTube isn't. You know, I'm just getting started here, folks. Me and Scully, we got plans for this place, hopefully. Whole roll of packaging tape seal so it floats. Peel it like an onion. Nice, Lionel. That's awesome. Hopefully you guys are getting connected here. I got 8 showing right here. Hopefully I've had some people come out and they're going to come back in. So this tarsal tunnel nerve, all right, so you can have weird tingling and buzzing and burning in your feet, and it could be coming from this nerve. So if you have a tendency to have a flatter foot, you could be irritating this tarsal tunnel nerve. All right, the other thing is you have this thing along, and so this is pain along the inside of your foot that I'm talking about. And so you can have the posterior tib tendon, what we call posterior tibialis or posterior tib tendonitis for short, and that runs all the way down. It's the main arch. It really helps make what your arch is. And so as your arch starts to flatten out, that tendon also becomes over elongated, and you can have posterior tib tendonitis that we have to treat. We do taping techniques, ultrasound. You might need to get orthotics by a podiatrist. So there's a whole process with that. So you can have a combination of tarsal tunnel and posterior tib if you're so not lucky. Or you can have one or the other. But usually if your posterior tib is irritated long enough, you also will have tarsal tunnel syndrome at the exact same time. So, and that's not fun. All right, so the next thing you can have is a sprain of the ligament. Now, I haven't even, hopefully my brother Tongues is still in here. I answered part of his question. I didn't answer the other part, which is the clicking. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and throw them out there, you know. Hopefully I can help you answer some of them. Obviously, this is not, as I always say, liability-wise. You should always seek out the professional too. This is liability, liability, liability. I'm not diagnosing anything. Alternative tongues. Alternative tongues. That's right. I haven't talked about where your clicking possibly could be coming from in your ankle. Average Joe PT, love the t-shirt. When is the merchandise store coming live? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? It takes 3, brother. 1, 2, 3. I know that commercial. I'm old enough to remember that commercial. That owl says it takes 3 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Why the name Average? That's a good question. I picked Average Joe PT because 2 things. 1, it's cliche-ish, hence, come on now, folks. I know, I don't want to pump myself up too much, and for the most part, I'm not pompous and I am pretty average. I'm not one of those guys that got his nose stuck up in the air, though there's a lot of people out there like that in the medical field. And so cliche-ish, obviously, I know, but I picked Average because of that, and obviously Joe PT. I picked Average Joe PT just because it was easy to spell. It's very easy to remember. It kind of has that kind of, cliche of, what every other phrase that you talk about, hotter than, blue blazes or, any other cliche phrase that you can talk about. So I thought that would be cool, Average Joe PT. And so obviously I picked myself because, the fat head that I have every once in a while, I had myself my arms crossed and I took the outline of it and then I made it green because green is a nice reflective color and it's kind of soft. So there's a lot of things when it comes to colors and why you pick certain colors. And then what you can't really tell is the forefront of my picture has all these little positions of people doing exercises. So it's little stick figures in the front of my picture. Cool Joe PT, nah, I thought that would have been too pompous. I did think of that one because I thought, like, when I was a kid, my mom could attest to this. I was a big fan of Snoopy, and I loved it. She gave me, or obviously probably a Christmas present or birthday or whatever, or maybe even school. I had a Snoopy T-shirt, and I said, Average Joe or Cool Joe always has a good day or something like that. So I thought about Cool Joe. Then I thought, nah, that was too pompous. So I decided to go with more something that was subtle. You can remember Average Joe PT. It should be easy to spell. And you wanted your mom to watch So Something Easy. Yeah, look. I love you too, Mom. All right, I got 9 in the house. Let's see, make sure. Where is Scully on the t-shirt? Well, Scully came later in the iteration of my channel so far. Though I probably will be putting Scully on the t-shirt at some point when I do start selling merchandise. I did get out to my lady, and she wants to charge me, even in bulk, she wants to charge me $15 a t-shirt, which it's probably right around, she's got to make a few bucks. She's giving me the t-shirt, she's doing all the work. 15 bucks probably isn't bad, but you figure by the time I put in the shipping price of it, and you figure I want to make a buck or two off, I'm probably looking at $20 or $25 for one of these t-shirts. So I don't know if I'm in the cost kind of lane. I was hoping I could sell the thing for 15 bucks. I know if I sell this flat out for 15 bucks, I know I could sell it and people would buy it. I don't know. There's that price bump, and I'm not sure, even though it's $10, when I tell you I'm selling it for 15 versus I'm selling it for 25, even though it's only $10, I don't know. I think I won't get a lot of people to buy it. $22. That $20 is like, that's death for a lot of things to sell. $19.99, right? Sell it for $19.99. If you say $20, that 1 penny, it's like no one wants to buy it. So I don't know. Needless to say, also, you can't sell merchandise on YouTube unless you got 10,000 subscribers. So you can't even sell. I mean, I could do eBay or PayPal. I could do PayPal or eBay, but I can't sell any merchandise specifically or have a shelf on my channel unless I got 10,000 subscribers. Try Teespring. Okay. All right. I'll try it and see what I can get because I already have the whole logo. The logo and everything I gave to her, you know. And so all she did is come up with, you know, she came up with a couple lines where I wanted it. Like I have the black shirt that has the different colors, and I have one that has no names. It just has my picture, which I thought was cool. And so, I mean, she just kind of made the print with her machine or whatever and gave me the t-shirt. These are probably, you know, you can buy 1 million of these probably really cheap if you buy it in bulk. Teespring. All right, I'm gonna try that this weekend and see what I can get a cost for that. I got 9 in the house. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them out. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more. Hey, Scully, what do you think? Do we get Scully in here? Scully might be feeling lonely. At some point, I've been saying this, and I've been saying this till probably since I started Scully. I'm gonna get the guy animatronic at some point. I already got the website. I already got everything all set up. I just need to drop the cash. And she ain't cheap, boy. To make Scully talk in real life and do all kinds of stuff, it's expensive. All right, so let's go ahead. So we talked about tarsal tunnel. We talked about lateral ankle sprains. Let's go ahead and talk about that clicking that that good old alternative tongues has happened. Hopefully he's still in here, or he's listening. Oh, we should sign a petition to change his name to Awesome. Awesome Joe PT. Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't mind it. You could start calling me AJ, like I had a wonderful cousin a long time ago from Massachusetts. His name was AJ. He passed away too. Another family member that I love and miss. Hello, everyone. Uh-oh, Nicole's in the house. Uh-oh, Nicole's in the house. Now, Nicole has started her playlist, though it's not her own. She's excuse me, indigestion from the soda. That's CO2, carbon dioxide. And so Nicole's, and hopefully she likes you, so subscribe to your channel. She doesn't have her own content, but she does have a playlist of different videos of different channel. I don't know if it's different channels or different movies, so I've looked into a little bit, but she does have a playlist, and she might connect to you if she likes you. So she's here in the house. Docile Vlog, Daddy's Day. Daddy Day is in the house. What? Daddy Day. I haven't seen Daddy Day in forever, bro. Oh, man. Come on in. Daddy's Day 1. Love from Germany. Oh, well, my wife's family's from Germany. That's right. She's what? 3rd generation. Her grandfather was 1st generation. He was from the boat. Her mother and father, I don't know if her father was, Raymond, if he was 2nd generation. He was probably 2nd generation. Her mother's 2nd generation. So my wife is 3rd generation German. Yeah, I mean, she's practically Hitler's daughter. She'd kill me. Oh, I know, I kill myself. I'm telling you, I'm so funny. I forget to laugh, and I'm sure she will forget to laugh when she hits me upside the head. All right, thank you. Thanks, host. Docile Vlog, get in here, get connected, folks. Come on in. We're learning about the ankle and foot right now. We're going to be talking about the shoulder a little bit. Cubs Den, ASMR is still in the house. ASMR Lounge is still in the house. Lionel's still here. Hogan's Hero, does that count? No. Hogan's Hero, I know nothing. I know, right? Isn't that one of Hogan's Hero's lines? Know nothing or Something like that. Lionel will be able to tell me. I can't remember. I used to watch it when I was a kid. Anyways, Daddy Days 1. Go ahead and get connected. Schultz, that's what it was. I'm pulling a Schultz. That's what it was. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that. Oh, that's so stupid of me. Oh, thank you, Daddy Days. Shared me out. Much love to you. Thank you so much. Much love appreciated to you guys. I do my lives, even on my channel. I changed it, my art. I do Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays on my live streams talking about different anatomy stuff, different types of pain, hopefully treatments that you can do at home, as well as I drop my shows on Sundays. And this is what we're doing. This is my third week, and I'm in the dead zone. So I'm up here in the dead zone, and I'm here all summer. I'm gonna be here all fall, all winter. So right now it's hot as blue blazes up here because there's no insulation, no climate control. So at some point I might be in a t-shirt, folks. It might get ugly in here. And hopefully if I start losing some weight, I might actually look pretty decent in a t-shirt, but I gotta lose about 15 pounds. And then the winter's gonna come and you're gonna see me here in a hat, scarves, gloves, and a coat. So it's gonna be interesting up here in the dead zone. Nicole says she's almost done. Nicole, please don't put a check. That's actually a no-no for YouTube. Let's see if I can get that off here this time. Yep, I can. Welcome, everyone. Please remember, thumbs up and share. Yes. Ernie Hatmaker. What? My girl Ernie Hatmaker is in the house. Please show some love to Miss Ernie Hatmaker and her husband, Ed. Her husband, Ed, and her, they have 2 different channels. They do lives together. They're in the process of moving, so they've probably been a little bit, I don't know if they're slower or not, but I've been watching as much as I can. I have my bell on for them, but I know they're in the process of moving and doing stuff like that. The last video I saw Ed is he was moving the actual truck. And so I want you guys to give some love to that girl. She's helped me out tremendously with my watch hours. Much love to her and much love to Ed. Thank you so much, both of them. Ed does a lot of, at least some of the videos that I've seen of Ed, he does like models. He makes models, which, I mean, that's like what I used to do when I was younger and I didn't have kids and I didn't have a YouTube channel and I wasn't a physical therapist. I love to do that kind of stuff. So it's cool to see him do that kind of stuff. And he's really good at it. So it's nice to see that. But Ernie Hatmaker, show that girl some love. All right, we're going to talk about the ankle some more. Go ahead and get connected. I have 11 in here. Go ahead and share me out. Give me hopefully a thumbs up if you'd like it. Remember, leave a good comment to people that's pertinent to the video. Otherwise, it's probably going to go in the YouTube spam box. They'll never see it. Make sure you watch the video long enough so that it doesn't go into the spam box. Otherwise, you're going to think that they never got connected to you. In reality, they tried, but YouTube just kicked it right into the spam box. Daddy Days is looking at Ernie Hatmaker. She's out there. I'm telling you, you better get connected to that girl and ring the bell. You're not doing yourself no justice if you don't get connected to that girl and ring the bell. As well as everybody else, there's a lot of wonderful channels here. I'm subscribed to all of them, obviously. There's a few here that are new that I'm not, and I will be in the next day or so. Donnie Mike Live is in the house. Ernie's showing some, Ernie got Don Mike Live saying, hey, I'm out here. Showing some love here. And Alternative Tongue says, shout out to Ernie Hatmaker. And Cubs Den saying, welcome, welcome. All right, and that is correct, Nicole says. All right, so let's go ahead. We talked about flat foot and what happens with that with the back. That's what my mom talked about. We talked about tarsal tunnel. We talked about posterior tib tendonitis. Now we're going to come to the front. We have another huge cluster of ligaments in the front here on the inside. All right, it's like 3 or 4 of them, and they're kind of like all meshed in here in different angles. and they're going from the talus bone, which is your main little joint bone in your ankle, and they're going to the cuneiform, which is a bone. It's going to the cuboid, all right, and that's the deltoid ligament. It's made up of a cluster of other ligaments. It's a very, very strong ligament in your body. It's very hard to sprain it, but you can do it, and you'll have it right on the top part front of your ankle, on the inside part. And I have only seen that once or twice in my entire career, and it's usually more of a tear, not a sprain. I've seen it in a car accident, and I've seen it in a motorcycle accident. More times than not, you have the inversion sprain where your ankle turns inwards. It's very hard to sprain this inside because it is so strong. I'm sold. I'm going to her home, Ernie Hatmaker. You better go to the home. I'm telling you. She's wonderful. Her husband's awesome. Hopefully they'll do more watch hours for me. Oh, that's all right. They've done more than enough already. She must have given me at least, I don't know, at least 100 watch hours. She's been awesome. Her husband, the family as a whole, they did more than enough for me. And I hope to at least express that a little bit. And hopefully at least what I can do with my small little YouTube channel right now, hopefully small and hopefully bigger at some point, and can give to her. And in the future, boy, I have a memory like an elephant. I can't remember people's names, but I remember a lot of other things pretty well. And I remember the people that did me right, and I remember the people that did me wrong. And I have my father for me for that. Probably my mom's the same way. When you do me wrong, boy, I ain't gonna forget that as long as I live. Ernie Hatmaker shared my video out, share my live stream out. Much love, much love. Don Mike Live says, Dead Zone, how are you? I'm in the dead zone. I'm not the dead zone. My channel is Average Joe PT. I'm just in the dead zone. I have no heat. I have no AC. Well, I have heat. I have heat from that giant yellow hydrogen ball out there. How many? 32 blah 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 miles away or whatever it is. Hey Siri, how many miles are we? How many miles are we from the sun?
I found this on the web.
We're 29 million miles from the sun, but right now for me it feels like it's right on top of me. Good old YouTube, internet. All right, so we talk about those. So that ligament on the top there. Let's talk to alternative tongues about that clicking that he's having. Now, if you sprained a lot, there's a huge ligament that comes from this fibula head onto the calcaneus. Now you have a nice little tendon that comes underneath that ligament. Think of my finger as the tendon, and that ligament kind of holds that tendon in place. If for some reason you've sprained it so much that you ruptured that ligament that holds that tendon in place, now you got a free floating tendon that can strum over the end of that fibula head here, or what we also call the lateral malleolus. The outside bone that we have on our ankle is actually the end part of your fibula. And so that tendon can click over that and get inflamed, and next thing you know, you have a big ball of fluid on the outside in pain. And so that could be what's going on, is you've actually ruptured that ligament in there, and that tendon is just strumming over and getting that clicking there. Now, it could be a bunch of other things. I don't know your medical history. I haven't done any evaluation on you, but that's the one thing I'm thinking off the top of my head that it could be. Daddy Days 1 says, Ernie Hatmaker family, beautiful yard. Daddy Days 1, Don Mike Live, how are you? We're getting a shout out. Daddy Days 1 is saying, hey, what's going on here, folks? Come on in. Daddy Days 1, thanks. Galaxy saying, oh, yes. Galaxy, Willow Galaxy, Ernie, thank you so much, Galaxy. We know we don't want a check mark. Check mark is considered spam. You can do a heart. Please just don't do a check mark. I mean, I guess I could do next time. I'll go ahead and just have the robot. I'll put that in there as one of the things that you can't do. Thanks a lot, Aunt Joe. I think I should see my therapist. Yes, you should. Because the reality is if that's what I'm talking about, and if that's what's happening on the outside ankle, then a lot of times if you're having constant chronic instability and an issue with that tendon, you might have to have surgery to reconnect that tendon, reconnect that ligament so that tendon can't lift up and strum against the end of that fibula head. Irish stew for me. What you gonna have for supper tonight, Joe? Well, I went and bought Chick-fil-A today, so I have a Chick-fil-A sandwich, and I bought the nuggets, and we're gonna apparently have tater tots. So it's carbohydrates and saturated fat. So Average Joe after this live stream is probably gonna do a nice 3 miles to probably burn some of that off, so he doesn't continue to gain weight until that stupid gym would open back up. Now, does this make any sense? I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. Okay, does this make any sense, people? The last thing to close for the COVID-19 virus was gymnasiums in North Carolina. The first thing that they didn't open was gyms. Why would you not open gymnasiums? They were the last thing to close. Wouldn't you think that they would be the first thing to open? Absolutely makes no sense at all. We have the chemical alcohol spray that we were spraying. We were keeping the distances apart. I mean, it's just absurd. The reality is gymnasiums should be open as long as you're keeping safe distance and you're doing the chemical wipes all over the machines before and after you use it. It's that simple. Those machines are non-porous or plastic. Clicking feeling in that tendon if it's not ruptured. Could this joint just get loose from time to time and slip? Are you talking about that tendon on the outside here? This is called your peroneal tendon. There's 3 of them. The one that I'm talking about is probably the brevis, and it attaches to the front here, and that can click. It could be the longest that goes underneath the foot. What happens is you actually caused a sprain, and it probably didn't catch the one ligament that ruptured that was holding that tendon down in, and that's when all of a sudden you get a lot of snapping and clicking in that area. And so the ligaments essentially hold things bone to bone and hold things in place. And so yes, I mean, anytime you sprain a ligament, if you don't recover properly, you could re-sprain it and make it worse that next time. Obviously, at the same time, you're also causing the tendon to get strained because the muscle in the tendon couldn't hold it in place, and so the ligament started to fail, and so that ligament ended up taking the damage instead of just the muscle and the tendon. Rona coming on in. Oh my God, Rona Vlog is in the house. My girl Rona Vlogs. Much love from the Philippines. Wait, she doesn't live in the Philippines. She lives in Denmark. She's Filipino, but she lives in Denmark with her husband. She has this cute little intro where apparently I found out today her husband did the intro, and it's she talks about she's from the Philippines, and all of a sudden it pans up and it's looking down from an aerial view onto her face, and she says, "I'm in a small place called Denmark," or something like that. She says, it's a very cute intro, guys. You gotta go see it. She's amazing. She has this nice little sound booth and a laptop, and she's a live stream. She's amazing. She does also videos too. The last one I remember seeing when that she was fighting. She apparently says she was fighting with her husband and her daughter. Her daughter looks just like her. She dropped as a video because it's quarantine, so it's kind of a cute little tongue-in-cheek kind of video. Because I thought she what did I think? I thought you said what did I think she was? What nationality did I think you were, Rona? Oh. Did I say, I didn't say, I know I didn't say Korean because I'm not that stupid. I can't remember, but she's like, no, 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 I'm Filipino. It's just like, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the stupid white American that didn't realize it, but I should have known it, but I didn't. I know it now. Blue Jeans Network says, at Rona Vlogs, welcome, welcome, welcome. Blue Jeans, thank you for sending the link. I actually not in the YouTube, just checked my IG. Oh, look at that, Blue Jeans. Rona would have never came. Rona, that's because you have to hit the bell, sweetie. You see that little thing that says subscribe right next to it? You hit that subscribe button like a beautiful woman you are. Then you hit that bell and you click up so you get me. Oh, Cubs Den, Rona Vlog. That's right. Daddy's Day says laughed out loud. Yes, and apparently that booth is also her husband's booth. So he does reads books and stuff like that, but she wouldn't drop his. She didn't tell me. She got distracted on her live stream today. She didn't tell me why she wouldn't drop her husband's link in the chat. I don't know if there's some sort of legal issue going on or something. She did not allude to why, but I think it would be cool. I listened to a guy, his name is Scully also, and he does a whole channel about he's actually a writer. He's a an author. He's got books out, and he actually does his channel. And he does sound effects and he reads from the chapters from his book. He's really good. I love his stuff. He comes into my live streams every once in a while, and he's Scully, but it's Scully. Mine's actually Scully SK. So you can look him up. He's been in a few of my live streams. He's really good. Mega shout out to all of you guys. Oh, Emma Neiman, thank you. Come on in. Much love, much love. I got 11 in the house right now. I got 11 people coming and going. I think Rona had like 30 or 35 when I was in there. She had one time where she said she got 1,000. She had 1,000 at one time a week or so ago in hers. So I thought that was really amazing. Rona says, hello, Lionel. Rona's coming in with Lionel. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the next problem that I see a lot with the foot, and it's called plantar fasciitis. Sometimes it's called plantar fasciitis, and essentially you have this thing in the bottom of your foot. It's this thick fibrous tissue that goes from your heel all the way and splits in your foot, which is what this represents. See this little thing? That's representing your plantar fascia. And what that does is it helps stabilize the structure of your foot. It helps with recoil of your foot to give you extra energy as you push off, a kind of spring mechanism in your foot that does. It also helps separate out the different muscle bellies within the foot itself. And that thing can get inflamed. It definitely coincides with flat foot. If you have a flat foot, you can get plantar fasciitis with this. You can get it when you're changing footwear a lot, or if you're wearing a lot of heels, because what happens if you're changing your footwear a lot, if you're wearing sandals or flip-flops, and you have a tendency to curl your feet a lot with flip-flops or sandals, or when you're in heels, that overworks the foot and gets the plantar fascia inflamed, and then you have plantar fasciitis. Lionel says, hi, Rona. Hi, Rona. Now you have a problem with this plantar fascia, and when you get out of bed in the morning and you take that first step and you stretch that plantar fascia, boom. You know what you got? You got wonderful instant pain. Yes. Pain. You're like, oh my God, I can't put weight on the bottom of my foot. Yes, that's plantar fasciitis or plantar fasciitis. I say plantar fasciitis. Now what happens is people can get that to calm down, and then it gets inflamed again at some point in time. It gets calmed down and then gets inflamed again. What happens if you continue to do that process, you can get a heel spur or a calcium deposit within that plantar fascia. Now you're dealing with bone or thick tissue tearing against that soft plantar fascia. Now you're dealing a really inflamed process. That's a big no-go. So what happens is people think that the heel spur caused the plantar fasciitis, when in actuality it's reverse. The plantar fascia caused the heel spur, and the heel spur calcium deposit kept the process of inflammation going further. Thumbs up. That's right. Thank you so much, Miss Cubs Den. Much love. I love you guys staying in the stream. Hopefully you're getting some good information out of this. If you have any questions about the foot and ankle right now, go ahead and shout them out. Hopefully I can give you some information or maybe steer you in the right direction to where you hopefully need to go. So that's perfect. I did a whole playlist on foot pain. You can go in there, and I did a whole treatment about plantar fasciitis, different taping techniques, using an ice bottle roll, using a golf ball, talking about different stretching and strengthening exercises you can do to help recover from plantar fasciitis. Because you don't want to keep going in and out of plantar fasciitis, because you will cause a calcium deposit or heel spur, which then will probably end up leading you to the doctor, because you're not going to be able to tolerate that type of tissue being inflamed like that. You're not going to be able to walk. You're going to start walking on the outside of your foot, or limping, or any way that you're not putting weight through that thick calcium into the bone. Excuse me. The calcium deposit or spur into the soft tissue of the plantar fascia or the muscle fibers. You're gonna have so much pain. You're not gonna be you're gonna be limping really bad. So. Mangled Nerdy's in the house. Ooh, that's beautiful. I love that channel art. Hello, everyone. Mangled Nerdy's in the house. This is someone new. I don't know. I wanted to connect. Hopefully the next couple of days, I'm going to look at yesterday's live stream. Hopefully it's got the chat uploaded so I can click into that and see who's new yesterday. And then today I probably will look at either tomorrow or Saturday and go ahead and definitely link into Mangled Nerdy. Cubs Den, thank you. I want to thank Cubs Den and everybody so far for shouting me out, because I'm sure of it that I wouldn't have this many people in here right now if you guys weren't nice enough to shout me out. And hopefully, I keep giving love out and, not expecting any love back. Hopefully it comes back to me, even though I do like it when it does. I'm only human. So, Lionel, I come from the company of friends. I stay for the 50-cent words. Lots of laugh. Always loved learning something. Well, thank you so much, Lionel. Yes, Lionel's awesome. Have you done anything new since that plant when I saw Lionel? All right, hopefully he'll, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and shout them out. Give me a thumbs up. Hopefully get connected. Hopefully get some of these nice people that are in here right now. So that's plantar fasciitis. That's tarsal tunnel. Now, a lot of times that plantar fascia gets inflamed and starts irritating that tarsal tunnel that runs down the inside of your foot and underneath that bone, and then comes up and makes up your foot underneath. So that tarsal tunnel can get irritated. All right, a lot of times you can get a lot of combinations of plantar fasciitis. Let's say you have flat feet and that flat foot comes down. You can have all three things. You can have tarsal tunnel, posterior tib tendonitis, and plantar fasciitis all at the same time. Yes, I've seen it. It's not pretty. It takes a long time to recover from it. And everybody's always anxious to get back to what they were doing before. So it can be frustrating for all parties when you have 3 or 4 different diagnoses occurring at one time in one particular body part. Gonna have my great Canadian Day giveaway contest. Opens June 1st to July 1st. Amazing prizes. Ooh, we're gonna get some prizes. We're gonna get some prizes. We're gonna get some prizes. My face is red because I'm sweating up here in the dead zone, as well as I have this giant bright light on my face. Your videos have helped so much. My little guy is autistic and he's a tall walker and his joints always hurt. The stretch helps so much. Thank you so much, Mangled. That's awesome. I see you are having fun. I try and have fun all the time here. This does not work for me at all. This is a labor of love, as one of my co-workers said. I see you are having fun. Yes, that's what I already said. Sorry, I said that twice. Rowan is giving me a heart. Oh, that's love. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I better go ahead and plug my thing in. I got my battery saying, plug me in, plug me in. All right, sorry that, folks. My phone was giving me the old plug-in. Better plug me in before I go dead. Sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah, gotta get Bob Vila over to build you a window. It's good to be home again. I grew up watching Bob Vila, and this old house was one of those shows my dad and I used to watch a lot when I was a kid. And he watched sports too, but every once in a while it'll come on and I'll flip it to Bob Vila. In this old house, I learned so much. Obviously, I learned a lot from my father when it comes to doing stuff. ASMR Lounge, multiple hearts, Tupac on. It's Tupac. Tupac is not Tupac Shakur. No, it's not that Tupac. Much love in the house. Thank you. Go ahead, share me out. Thank you so much. So we talked about, we got Get Miss Galaxy saying, Mangled Nerdy, gonna show some love. Got a beautiful connection going on there. Go ahead, give me some thumbs up. Leave a good comment for people that you go see their channel. Hopefully watch it for a good period of time. So, I mean, that's what I'd want if you come to my channel. I'd want you to watch at least 30-40% of it. I mean, if it's a realistically linked video. You know, hopefully, you know, like my intro video is like, I don't know, 60 seconds or 30-40. It's not very long, my intro. I have a few of them on there. You know, if you have a video that's, 3 minutes long, I mean, really, you should hopefully watch at least half of it. Because otherwise, a lot of times, it's going to go to the spam box, and they won't even realize that you tried to do a nice connection. Ironic, you grew up watching Vila, then you got into the Human Foundation, so to speak. Yeah, that's true. Well, you know, I'm all about fixing things. I'm one of those guys that's a fixer. My wife would say this. I'm sure my mom and dad would say this. I'm a fixer. I'm a doer kind of guy. I'm not a crier on your shoulder. You know, I'm there to fix the problem and get on my merry way. That's, you know, I might have been a crier as a kid, but I'm just not that way anymore. Every once in a while, you know, you might see a tear, but man, it's probably during some sort of, you know, solar eclipse or something like that. It don't happen very often. He fixes houses, you fix the body. Yeah, well, I try and fix the body. You know, I'm a physical therapist. I'm not Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad or Zeus or Ra or any of those other guys. Or Joe Smith, right? He was the Mormon guy. He's Mormon church. Or the Scientology guy. Is that guy a Scientology guy? Oh, L. Ron Hubbard. Oh, he started Scientology, but I don't think they really see him as, maybe they see him as a prophet. I don't know. I can't remember. So many religions, so little time. All right. And so let's go ahead. We talked about the plantar fascia now. I only cry when I see Gene the Dancing Machine on the Gong Show. Oh God. That's not too far before my time. That's my mom and dad's time, probably. I'm sure my mom remembers the Gong Show. She didn't have TV till later in life. I mean, she grew up rough. You talk about a tough woman. My mom's a tough freaking woman, boy. She grew up in she had an outhouse. She didn't have any, you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. You know, I lived the cream of the crop compared to what my mother lived through initially in her first part of her life. Yeah, I'm that old guy. Thank you so much. Tom Cruise. That's right, Tom Cruise. Well, I know Tom Cruise, he's not the head of Scientology, but I can't remember what idiot. Well, oops, I shouldn't have said that. What guy is part of head of Scientology? Tom Cruise, he's like one of those spokesperson for it. And I know the other big celebrity is, shoot, what the heck's his name? Oops, I'm not. What's the wow, knows a lot of stuff. Yeah, I know some stuff. Hat maker, Miss Ernie. You know, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I do have a doctorate degree in physical therapy, so I know some stuff. I probably have forgotten just as much stuff as I know. I mean, they fill your head with so much stuff when you go to school, and then when you specialize, when you come out, because I specialize basically in outpatient orthopedic kind of stuff. I do neuro, I do a little bit of peds. But that's kind of like my shtick. I do some inpatient hospital stuff, evals. I don't go heavy in the spinal cord. I don't go heavy in peds. I don't do wound care. I do some prosthesis, amputations and gait training and stuff like that. But physical therapy is specializing as it becomes an older profession, because we're one of the newer ones on the block if you look at the medical profession as a whole. We've been around a while, but the reality is as we get older as a profession and do more research, we're really specializing more and more as a profession, just like a radiologist does. If you're an MD and you're a radiologist that might just do just read X-rays. You might be a radiologist that just reads MRIs. You might be a radiologist that just reads CT scan and PET scans. And so even radiologists specialize. So everybody specializes. You see a primary care doctor, you go to a primary care doctor, they're not your gynecologist, right? So that's the reality. There's so much specialization because there's so much to the human body, and there's so much you have to know in a particular specialty. So at Blue Jeans Network, doing well, Mangled Nerdy. At Mangled Nerdy, hello, how are you? Blue Jeans Network says hello. David, oh, that's his name. David Miscavige is the head of the COS. Yeah. His wife has been missing a long time now. No kidding. I did not know that. I know, I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. All right, if you're not, don't hate me, but I love Joe Rogan. Anyways, he had David Miscavige's father on his program one time, and he talked about where his father had to run away, him and his wife, their kid, trying to make them go back to their compound or whatever. So needless to say, I mean, if that's not a cult, I mean, that's pretty darn close, brothers and sisters. That's all I gotta say. Isn't that someone who works in radio stations? Nice, Blue Jeans. No, a radiologist. A radiologist is someone that reads, that's a medical doctor that specializes in reading images. Cubs Den, at Lauren N. Welcome. None has ever seen her since. Yeah. She's probably either melted in a barrel or in a deep hole. All right, I got 11 in the house. We've talked about plantar fasciitis. Let's talk about, we're going to move up to the foot here, and we're going to talk about this thing called bunions. What the heck's a bunion? Well, in your big toe, that big thing on the end here, or also known in the medical term, it's called your great toe. That's what we call it, people. You can have the mid joint here, what we call the metatarsal phalanges. All right, these are called phalanges in the medical world, just like your fingers and toes. The technical term is called phalanges. That's PH, not F. Phalange, if I'm spelling that correctly, I think I am. You can have your toe start to turn out like that, right? In reality, your toe is turning in and this joint is getting thicker. The capsule within the joint is getting thicker. It can calcify. And next thing you know, you have this giant lump on the part of your big toe. Now, sometimes it causes pain and sometimes it doesn't cause any pain. So some people will get it done just for what we call cosmetic reasons because it just doesn't look right, you know. And sometimes, you know, you'll get a whole family full of them. My mother had it, her mother had it, or her father had it, and so on and so forth. So it definitely can follow the hereditary gene line. I mean, you can get it also just because you've screwed up your foot. You can get it from a neurological problem where you have muscle imbalance within your foot, spasticity or tone over time could probably cause this particular type of issue. Lauren N. Hi, Cubs Den. How you doing? Ernie. Lauren says, Ernie's in the house. Oh, I got a few people that left. Let me go ahead and refresh. Sometimes this thing does not like to keep up with people coming and going. Let's see me get a refresh, see who's in the house here. I got 10. Lionel says, Lays, if your foot is a size 9, don't wear a size 5. Listen to Joe. Yes, definitely the whole kind of turning your foot into a point, like in those pretty boots or pretty heels that you girls look amazing in. But the reality is it starts to cause forces within the inside and outside of your foot and can lead to a bunion. So what they do is a thing called a bunionectomy. Literally what they do is, if they have to, they break that bone, they shave off, they literally shave that thickness of the bone off. They might even put a pin through the front of your big toe, through that joint, and you let that thing fuse or heal in that area, and then you come back and they take that pin back out and you have a nice straight joint. The reality is they fuse that joint. So that joint's not going to move anymore. You have to move above and below the joint, which is fine. You have multiple joints within the great of the big toe. Shouldn't really mess up your walking pattern. That's right. You got to, everybody, boys and girls, you got to take care of those Tootsies. Because as far as I know, you only get one pair. This is not a Nike outlet store, or Adidas store, or whatever, where you can buy another pair of shoes. The reality is you get one pair of feet, and you better be good to them. Reen Vlogs is in the house. Hi, Rianne Vlogs. Hello. Come on in. Welcome. Connect. Thank you coming on in. We're talking about the foot, talking about everything that I can think of on the top of my head orthopedically about the foot. I'm sure there's a lot more that I don't remember or don't know, or just not thinking about it at the top of my head. I don't specialize specifically in the foot. I'm not a podiatrist, which is funny. A podiatrist is basically, they're not a medical doctor, which people can get confused with. All right, they are a doctor of podiatry or foot. And so they only can do certain types of surgeries only in the foot. They can't really get into the ankle or at all, because that ends up becoming an orthopedic medical doctor needs to start doing surgery on that. They'll do stuff at the toes and stuff like that. But a podiatrist really doesn't have much more education than I do. It's kind of like a doctor of dentistry, or in this case, a doctor of physical therapy, which is I go to, that I went through, excuse me. None of us are medical doctors. All right, so that's where people get confused. You know, you could call me Dr. Joe, but I think that's just an overinflated ego as far as I'm concerned. I think that but that being said, you know, I think it confuses. Hey, you're a doctor, aren't you? You know, medical. Can I get some drugs or something like that? People always think. So I always try and delineate or separate the difference between MD and not an MD. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and there's a few more things I can talk about the foot, but I'm getting sick of holding this thing. And so I want to talk about the shoulder. I'm not a doctor either, but I played a doctor in the back seat of a 1975 purple AMC Gremlin. Oh, all right. Do you recommend any stretches for my little guy's toes walking in the same, say it's Century, but I worry about the tendons? Yes, yeah, the autism, they're automatically going to say it's a sensory disorder because it probably does have a sensory component to it. You probably should see a I'll tell you some stuff, but the caveat is you probably should see a sensory based physical therapist that works on the foot. So it's going to be a pediatric physical therapist that works on sensory disorders, because if it truly is, whether it's autism is a huge spectrum, you know all this. But anyways, if you could see a physical therapist that does work on sensory disorders, I'm not one of them. And I'm not a pediatric therapist either. But I know enough about toe walking that yes, basically you're walking on your toes and you have this whole, tactile sensation of pressure through your foot. And so you tend to walk on your toes. You can walk on your foot, but then when you get excited or you start moving really fast, you start to lift up on your toes again. So yes, you do the Achilles tendon stretch where you're bringing your toes towards your nose, lying down. You can do the whole put a squeaky toy. You can probably find a little one on eBay or the internet and put that in the heel of the shoe, on the bottom. So it's like a squeaky toy that you would have for a dog. You just find the insert and put it underneath the insert of the shoe at the heel, so it can kind of give him a auditory, or she an auditory response. Every time she makes that squeaky noise, he or she is making contact with the heel and through the toe first. I mean, that's a nice little sensory auditory response, so that you're always doing heel strike first. You could try that if you haven't already. BRB, be right back, toddler duties. Okay, Cubs Den. Lionel says truth. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. Because it's really not a structural change. Obviously, I've even seen some adults, all right, they don't have autism or they were never diagnosed with autism. They might be a very high functioning autistic or Asperger's or something like that. Where they're just like, oh, everybody just says they're really quiet and they're an introvert. In reality, they were, they're my age or they're older and they didn't really have autism and autistic spectrum then that doctors really looked at. And so you have to be, and so I see so many people that they never really overcome or work through those particular disorders. Fee5 World and Other Gaming is in the house. Hello, everyone. NYC in the place. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys are doing all right up there. I'm down here in North Carolina and seeing the firestorm that's been going up there with that stupid virus. Oh, man, you guys had a hell of a time there. That's what happens when you put too many people in one spot and an illness breaks out. Very scary. Especially with people that have a lot of immune compromised problems. Obesity, blood pressure, diabetes, COPD, congestive heart failure, cystic fibrosis, emphysema, asthma, all these and more. Let me see if I can switch this out. My bad. All these particular problems now, needless to say, you get that virus, man. Hopefully you're one of those 80% that are asymptomatic that have no symptoms at all. 80% is a lot of people. I did the math. 270 million, or excuse me, like 370 million people in the United States alone. If you times that by 80%, it's like 290 million people in the United States are asymptomatic. Good luck with that, trying to stop that. when we're spreading it and we don't realize it because we have no fever, no symptoms. Asymptomatic means no fever, no symptoms. Joe, maybe an oscillating fan. Get the air up there moving. I could, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to blow around all the dust mites, and I'm allergic to dust mites. And so I vacuumed up here really good this last weekend, and I'm vacuuming every weekend up here now. But yeah, if I start a fan and start blowing dust mites around, all you're going to see is a guy with runny eyes and congestion. And tomorrow I'll be taking my Flonase because I'll be too congested. I'll be right back. Got to take care of the little ones. All right, Mangled Nerdy, thanks for coming. Nothing but real love from New York City. You better believe it. I actually went to Mercy College in New York. You ever hear of a place called Dobbs Ferry, New York? That's where Mercy College is. That's where I got my PT doctorate degree from. It's right up there on the Hudson. Beautiful school. It's a private school. At one time, it was an all-girls school back in God only knows how long ago. And then they obviously made it co-ed. And they have a couple campuses. But my shout out to all my brothers and sisters, Mercy College, class of 2006. That's right. I went there 2003 to 2006. Before then, in 1999, I graduated from Penn State with an associate degree, then went and got my bachelor's degree, then went and got my master's degree, then went and got my doctorate degree. So yes, I've been through the ringer when it comes to higher level education. I have an aunt on my father's side that lives in Tarrytown that we have absolutely nothing to do with. Rick Sabin Rikes or Rikes. Hello, host getting morning from the Philippines. Hi, from the Philippines. I have a lot of friends from the Philippines. A lot of friends. People from the Philippines that love me, and I love the Philippines. Okay, I gotta go, y'all kids. Backyard pool I'll fill with ice. Add margaritas, mix, and you go. Yeah, I might have to have a beer after this. Nothing but real love. That's right. All right, Lionel. Thanks for coming by, brother. Thank you so much for coming. Much love to you. Hopefully you got a bunch of new connections coming in tonight. I got 9, 10, 11 coming in. I can't seem to get over that 11, 12 hump. Let me go ahead and refresh here for a second. Yeah, I'm at 9 right now. Can't seem to get over that hump a little bit. Have you been here, sir? Have you been here, sir? Of course I've been here. Where else have I been? Replace those electrolytes, brother. Yeah. Well, I got the sugar part. Now I just need the salt and the actual water. Though I drank a bunch of water today at work, so and I have that Chick-fil-A. That's nothing but salt and that chicken, so. All right, we're going out of the ankle and foot, and we're going into the shoulder. I will show you love, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Absolutely appreciate it. Much love to you also. FIFA World and other gaming. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will at some point come to your guys' channel and connect with you and go from there. Hopefully, if you just connect with me, I can go ahead and go onto my channel and just click from that point. Sometimes they don't. People just come in and out, and then I can't because they didn't subscribe to my channel. If you already subscribed to my channel, I'm already watching your stuff. There's no doubt about that. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to talk about this. This is called the shoulder girdle complex. That's a fancy word for these three bones. All right, they in themselves encompass the entire shoulder. No problem, bro. I'll show you mad love, New York City. Thank you so much. Yes, you're from Queens. I actually worked in a place called Binghamton, New York for about 15 years. Johnson City, Binghamton, New York. I lived in Pennsylvania, just across the border, in a small town called Susquehanna. Yes, it's a Native American name. Susquehanna. Spell that 3 times fast. It's like Mississippi. Shout out to all lovely people in the chat. Rick Sabiano. All right, go ahead, show some love. Go ahead and leave a comment section. Gotta show the love. Come on in, folks. Cheer me out. We're gonna talk about the shoulder now. If anybody has any questions about the shoulder, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll go ahead and hopefully try and answer them for you. We're gonna go over the basics. I'm talking about the basics today. So we have really 3 bones that actually make up the shoulder and how the actual hand comes over the head. So these 3 things have to work in like a musical, rhythmic way. And if they don't for any reason, you're not going to get your hand over your head very well. And you're definitely not going to get it over your head without pain. So the clavicle or collarbone in the front actually rotates as our hand comes over a head. It's kind of like a strut on a car. It kind of rotates like that. I share you, Joe, on the book face. Oh, thank you so much, Lionel. Lionel shouted me out on Facebook. All right, and so as our hand comes over our head, the ball has to drop down. Our hand comes up, the ball over the socket drops down, kind of like a seesaw. Think of it this way. If one goes up, the other one has to go down. Seesaw. I have no idea what that is. And so, and your shoulder blade has to rotate on your ribs. So as I bring my hand up over my head, that shoulder blade starts to rotate away from the spine and then come on up overhead. Teeter, teeter, tweeter. Oh, you also tweeted me out too. Thank you so much. I want to say I'm back. Well, it's about time, Nicole. Where did you go, my dear? Shout out to all the lovely people in the chat. Oh, Fifi, I just got your message. You better believe it, brother. Or sister. I don't know which one. I don't know if you're a boy or a girl. I haven't seen your channel yet. But I definitely will be connecting with you this evening. Anybody who subscribes to me, I'm definitely coming out to you. I'm ringing your bell because you came to my live stream too. All right, and so there's 4 muscles that make up your rotator cuff. They sit on your shoulder blade. They rotate your shoulder out and they rotate your shoulder in. They sit, one sits on the bottom, one sits on the top. Cubs Den, I'm going to be in and out, Doc. My tot is having a moment. Oh, that's fine. Thank you, Miss Cubs Den. See, I want to say I'm really hungry, though. Yeah, I'm getting hungry, too. No, that seesaw, we call that, a teeter-totter. Yes, back in the old day. You know, you don't see them anymore in these parks anymore. You know, you see the slide and you see the swings and you see the spinning little thing. I don't see teeter-totters anymore. Anyways, and so you have one muscle that sits on the bottom of your shoulder blade, one that sits on the top in your shoulder blade, one that sits on the inside of your shoulder blade, and the 4th rotator cuff muscle sits on the outside, like where your armpit is, and comes and attaches. And so those 4 main muscles really make your shoulder rotate out and rotate in. And There's a fifth one we call the bicep long head. It's not really the rotator cuff muscle, but it does affect the rotator cuff dramatically when it gets injured. And that's the long head of the bicep that runs all the way up the shaft of the humerus. The long head attaches inside on the top part of the labrum. And we've talked about labrums before in the live stream. I want to feed. Well, no, go ahead and get something to eat, girl. I know, brother, the time's changed. Try and find lawn darts. Oh, God, yes. I know. How did we survive lawn darts? Oh, that's right. When you throw it up in the air, you make sure you're not stupid enough to be underneath it when it lands on the ground. Rocket science, right, people? Oh, what's the other big one? Oh, how did we live? You know, nowadays your kid has to have a helmet, elbow pads, knee pads, wrist pads. It's like when I grew up, I had no helmet, no nothing. I got on the bike or the skateboard and just bit it and went go, go, go. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Brother Lawn Darts played goalie. Yeah, that's not cool. You don't want to play goalie with lawn darts. All right, and so those are the main muscles that make up your rotator cuff, sit on the shoulder blade, as well as that bicep that attaches up in there. And so if you pull really hard, or if you were trying to grab something like that, you could possibly tear that bicep and tear that labrum. And lo and behold, you tear the labrum inside the ball and socket, and this ball is not going to want to rotate like it's supposed to, because that labrum essentially makes the socket the depth of it. And I've talked about this plenty of times on the live streams. And so I always say, you know, you can think of the bicep long head as your fifth rotator cuff, though it doesn't rotate the shoulder at all. Ow. Oh, that didn't feel good. But it does directly affect the rotator cuff muscles themselves. We got 8 in the house right now. Do you guys have any questions? How long we been? We have 117 minutes. Oh my Lord, I can't believe this. We almost have 2 hours in this live stream already. Where does the time go with this stuff? Mom's lap was the child seat on the Sunday drive, or you'd lay in the back window. How do we survive? That's right. Yeah, I mean, I remember my dad's old 70 Chevy Nova only had the lap belt. There's no such thing as over the shoulder. Good Lord, I have a good friend that works with me, and she got a beautiful new car. And that thing, I haven't been in it or I haven't sat in it yet, but she's telling me all the things that it does. You know, lane departure, you know, warnings and backup warnings, and you know, the darn thing pretty much drives itself. So, you know, it's not quite iRobot where if your car, you know, it drives itself and you get in a car wreck, foam gets all around you and it turns into styrofoam to protect you, but it's pretty close. Ooh, excuse me. Did you guys hear that? Woo! All right, and so if we think about any muscle that gets irritated, torn, or tendon gets inflamed, it's very easy to mix up the entire mechanics of the shoulder because it really is a floating joint. The only attachment that this shoulder complex, girdle shoulder complex, has to the skeleton is from this little part on your collarbone in the front to your sternum. Everything else is just kind of floating on there. So this thing is really held on by just fascia, myofascia, ligaments, tendons, and muscles. And so if anything gets inflamed, a trigger point, or something partially torn, it's very easy to mess up the mechanics of this shoulder, so your arm doesn't go over your hand, or your hand doesn't go over your head correctly, is what I'm trying to say. I grew up on a farm. Granny had 18 kids, working farm. You take a girl home, she needs the bathroom. I'm in the shower. Well, Nicole, you don't have to tell us all that, girl. Take her to the outhouse. Laugh my rear end off. No second date. Your grandmother had 18 kids. Good Lord, she was pregnant for almost 20 years. Give that girl a break, for heaven's sakes. I can't believe that you'd want a woman pregnant for 20 years. 18 kids and no indoor plumbing. Well, it wouldn't matter if you had indoor plumbing. There's no way you had 18 bathrooms in your house. All right, and so that is the basics of your rotator cuff and how this moves to bring your hand over your head. Once you break it down, it isn't that difficult. What you notice with a lot of people, when they have this poor rounded posture, they end up having a tilt to their shoulder blade so that your shoulder blade is not sitting flat against the back of the rib cage. It's kind of tilted a little bit. And that's messing up the mechanics, because the shoulder blade is supposed to sit flush, flat against the ribs. And so as your hand comes, that shoulder blade's nice and flat against that rib cage. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They lose the foundation, the stability, the strength in their shoulder blade, and it starts to mess up the entire mechanics of the rotator cuff. Nicole says, and I want to say cool. Outhouse pump outside to get water. Wood stove to boil. Kids linen up for baths. Imagine that work. Yeah, that's crazy. All day, every day. Well, obviously with 18 kids, at some point those kids started to do more of the work. And at some point, I hate to break it to you, kids were probably raising kids. Nicole's listening to some music, and that's kind of cool. All right, folks, I got 7 in the house. We're going to go ahead and finish up this live stream. We're about 2 hours in. I'm going to come to you guys tomorrow, somewhere between probably 1 and 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for my third live stream of the week. And we're going to see what I bring up to talk about. Going to be kind of interesting, maybe. We might talk about the spine. We might talk about the brain a little bit. We might talk about the hand and the wrist. You know, some things that we haven't really dived into a lot lately. We might talk about some different injuries. So stay tuned to that. We're going to come back to the Dead Zone tomorrow. Going to be live 1 to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Come and get connected. So Scully's going to hang out, and like we always say, we want you to look up and keep smiling. See you next time, folks. Hopefully tomorrow. Bye for now.